All around the world. Hi, you beautiful Bravehearts all around the world. I'm Dr. Daryl Wolfe coming from Braveheart Nation Studios, and I want to say something right now. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. My gosh, you go to a grocery store, everything is in plastic, and guess what? They want you to buy a plastic bag. Okay, it's not your fault because there is enough water. In center Earth, there's 100 times more water in the center of the Earth than there is on top of the Earth. You need to get this. You've got to understand something. There could be 100 billion people on this planet. Okay. And then they tell us that, you know, we're useless eaters and we don't know how to live and we don't know how to love and we don't know how to care for each other. Well, guess what? They've made us into animals. Okay. They've made us into animals thinking that we have to survive because we can't thrive, and we're never going to be able to thrive when these elite psychos, and I don't even want to call them elite, these elite psychos, they're the ones that create it all. And the elite psychos that you know, they're not even the big troublemakers. The big troublemakers, you'd have to pull back 100 curtains just to find out who they are. And understand, these are just morons, rich morons, because they're told that if you're going to make these billions, you've got to use 30 to 40%, and you've got to poison the herd. Well, guess what? They're never going to poison me because I'm not part of the herd. I want to tell you something. I want you to watch these two videos, and you need to watch them. Okay? All right? See if you can focus for just the next 15 minutes and understand it's not your fault. It's not your neighbor's fault. It's not the people who live in your country's fault. It's not the people that live in the world fault. It's these psychos who were told that they will be able to reign the world as long as we do not show unconditional love and care for ourselves and our brothers and sisters, and we're willing to go to war and spill blood. And that's it. And that's all this is about. It's about nothing else. This has been going on since the beginning of time, and it will continue to go on until you decide that you are going to have a value sticker on you that is unconditional love and care for yourself and everyone else. Let me tell you something. People aren't bad, but they've got bad beliefs, and those been programmed into us from the minute we enter the womb until we go to the tomb. And that will never happen to me, and I am not angry. I am just calling out to all my brothers and sisters that have a Braveheart roar, because you're so much more. Okay? This is going live on all my platforms, but this is the last one. The rest of the Wolfe Reports are going to go on BHN app, where they can't shut my yap. I own that platform. They can't tell me what to say, but you will get the exact truth. You'll get nothing else. I won't guess at anything. I will come from my heart. And guess what? I bow down in front of that which created the universe, and I also know that that which created the universe is never going to come and save me. I am my own hero, and that's what created the universe, has made me into a spirit being. And when I feed my spirit and I process through my heart, I don't make mistakes. So I will never be fearful, no matter what trauma they come out with. They're so full of BS, okay? If you understood their stinking thinking, you wouldn't be rotting to the core yourself because of what you eat, think, and drink. You've got to wake up. I love you all. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I don't want to see anybody suffer. And the reality is me suffering isn't going to do any good for anybody. So understand, suffering is not the way. Watch this video. I'll make a small comment after this, and then we'll watch one more video, and I'll make a small comment. But guess what? There's no changing people, okay, all right, that do not understand that the subconscious, okay, is just a computer that's been programmed. And isn't it great, okay, that the majority of the population is always going to serve these psychos? Play the video, Rafa.
We have had the technology to create control, and steer hurricanes for decades.
Project Cirrus is the first official attempt to modify a hurricane. It was run by General Electric with the support of the U.S. military. The official theory was that by changing the temperature outside the eye wall of a hurricane, which they did by seeding the clouds with various compounds such as silver iodide, a decrease in strong winds will result. On October 13, 1947, Project Cirrus targeted a hurricane heading out to sea. Approximately 180 pounds of dry ice was dropped into the clouds. The crew then reported a pronounced modification of the cloud deck, and the hurricane abruptly changed direction and made landfall near Savannah, Georgia. The public blamed the government. Irving Langmuir, who pioneered General Electric's atmospheric research department and admitted that the project was about learning how to weaponize the weather, also claimed the reversal of the hurricane had been caused by Project Cirrus. But the government denied it for 12 years. After a short delay, the project officially continued, and in 1965, Project Storm Fury had targeted Hurricane Betsy for seeding. On that day, the storm immediately changed direction and made landfall in southern Florida. Congress blamed it on Project Storm Fury, but the government claimed that the hurricane shifted before they ever had a chance to seed it. And after 2 months of congressional hearings, the project was allowed to continue.
In 1997, U.S. Defense Secretary William Cohen admitted we have the technology to control the weather, including earthquakes and volcanoes. The U.S. government has placed gag orders on employees of the National Weather Service. In October of 2012, after Hurricane Sandy weakened to a tropical storm, microwave imagery shows a thick red beam immediately followed by Sandy growing into a Category 1 hurricane and taking an unexplained left turn into New Jersey. The push towards alternative energy demands more lithium, and according to the U.S. Geological Survey, the United States has over 6 million tons of identified lithium resources. The majority of this lithium has been identified in Kings Mountain, North Carolina. Kings Mountain is believed to have one of the largest resources in the world, but the biggest problem is that people live there, and they don't want their quiet towns turned into lithium mines.
People in Cherville have been pushing against a proposed lithium mine for the last several years, but everyone we spoke with here said it's too divisive of an issue to share their opinion on camera. Cherryville is a small, quiet town.
I think that's good that we keep it small.
So quiet, many don't feel comfortable speaking out against Piedmont Lithium's proposed mining operation nearby.
I think we're a silent majority. I think a lot of people are afraid to say anything about it because they are bringing a lot to the town as far as money.
Last year, the Department of Defense entered a $90 million agreement with Albemarle Corporation to increase domestic production of lithium for the nation's battery supply chain, specifically from Kings Mountain, North Carolina, starting by 2025. This is the same area experiencing what is being described as biblical floods. While the federal government spends billions on foreign wars and illegal immigrants, they simply cannot be bothered with the health and well-being of the American people, especially those living on coveted mineral-rich land. Reporting for InfoWars, this is Greg Reese.
So you still think it's a conspiracy? You still think somebody's making this up? Well, why don't we just play this last video and we shut this thing down? Rafa?
Flooding in North Carolina does not sit well with me. I think something's going on. So I decided to do some digging. So the first thing I find out is North Carolina has the richest deposits of lithium in the entire world. Yeah, lithium for like cars, batteries, all that. Then I find out they have the world's highest purity quartz deposits. And that quartz just so happens to be the world's supply for AI chips, microchips, and all kinds of stuff. We're talking a $530 billion industry. So this is where it gets interesting. So a company by the name of Piedmont Lithium is awaiting a state mining permit for a site in northern Gaston County. And Gaston County is completely flooded right now. The project was awaiting zoning approval because they were getting backlash from the residents and also city officials. And this lithium mine they want would be the third largest producer of lithium in the world. And they made a deal with Tesla already. Now remember the quartz? So in Spruce Pine, North Carolina, right next to Ashland, they are wanting to expand their mines even larger. And the residents aren't having it either. Enter the floods. People, these are mountain towns. It rarely, if not ever, floods in the mountains. I would know, I grew up in the mountains in Colorado, which means none of these people have flood insurance. I mean, the media is saying biblical devastation in North Carolina, AKA like the worst thing that could happen, and you're not coming back from it. Read between the lines, people. Everything happens for a reason.
So just know that whatever they want, they're going to come for. And they're going to take whatever they want. And understand this. The people that you think are in charge are not in charge, but they've been told that guess what? You've got a free ticket. You got a free ticket to ride. Me and you, we break one of their goofy laws, or we pay. Look at these people, what they can do and what they can get away with. If you don't believe that there's an entity that's ruling this planet and allowing these psychos to just do whatever they want, then you're delusional. And the reality is, we all know this. There's so much more of us. And there's very few of them. But look how easy it is to program a person. Look how they've got us against each other, from religion to color to race, you name it, okay? And understand, there's always been division. Do you ever ask yourself why there's so many different languages on this planet? Well, guess what? That's so that we can't communicate. So that's so that we'll just fight. Well, I'm not fighting with anyone. And I know what's going on. And the reality is, a logical mind would know that. But guess what? Logic's out the door because they fed so much fear to people, and they're giving you so many chaotic things that are going on right now that you don't know which one to focus on. You don't know which way to go. And if you don't know which way to go, like the majority of the population, you go nowhere. I don't expect anybody to follow me or believe me, and it doesn't matter. But I also don't need anybody's approval, okay, to tell you what's in my heart. And I'm not going to take anything personal if you don't believe this. I'll be doing a Wolfe Report every 3 days. It'll only be going on BHN app because this one probably will be taken down pretty quick. So share it. Share it if you believe it. Share it. And don't get angry, okay? Just get intelligent and get in the present moment where you can heal. Get in the present moment where you can make a new decision and go a different direction in your life. And do not follow the herd because we know where they're going. My heart goes out to everyone, okay? Everybody out there. And I mean everyone. You've all got your stories, and understand, start telling a new one. Stop telling the story they want you to tell. That's why they call it history. Okay, they rewrite it, and they're trying to write your story. Don't let them do it. Be the director, be the producer, be the writer, and be the leading star, and be a hero, for God's sakes. And I do mean God's sakes. Stay safe and be blessed. And thank you for joining me.